Hello, this is Ki with RunScore. Today we'll be covering how to create a simple macro script. Macros are a set of files that allow you to pass parameters to an RSM file, .rsm, that allows you to use that base RSM file with several other values for race or other items to use that file over and over again without having to retype that or make changes each time in that file. We're going to be looking at listings, and the macro file itself, the listing file that calls that macro, is going to start with an @ sign. We're going to now create a simple little macro. We're going to create a new file. We're going to type in asterisk, and we're going to call this overall 5K results. We're going to go down here and we're going to call RSLTS results.rsm. Now we're going to have to create that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the listing file we did in the last video. We're going to edit that. We're going to notice this is a list file and it has all the information typed in. We're going to go ahead and File, Save File As. We're going to now call that results.rsm. We're going to overwrite that. And if we go ahead and double click on this and look, we now have that information here for the results.rsm. Okay, let's go ahead and figure out how we're going to deal with this. Our listing file called several values that we printed in or typed in. We have the printer as the first value. So let's go ahead and set this up in the macro. A macro, we're saying that this file, we're going to set up a parameter. We're going to use the %1, and that will be the first parameter from the, we leave a space between the file name and all the parameters, and we're going to go ahead and put that %1 here in place of printer, %1, and we're going to put printer as %1 over here. So printer. So when you run this file, it looks for the first parameter after results.rsm, and that would be printer. Now, the next thing we want to be able to change is the header. So we're going to do the 5K. We're going to make that %2. So that parameter now goes up here with the space. The second one we're going to insert. You can have multiple spaces, but you just can't. If you're going to have a value that you want to put in that title that has a space internal to it, you have to put quotes around it. But this time, since it's, we'll just show you how to do that. Quote, end quote, we're all set. You don't have to do that unless there's a space in your title. But the next value we want to do is we're going to say the run. We're going to get rid of that and put %3 because we're going to call that as a value up here. So we have now the first parameter passed is printer. The second is 5K. The third is run. We'll put another space there. Now the next value we want to be able to change or put the parameter in for will be the 5. So we'll put %4. We're going to change that to, or add that in as the fourth parameter is 5. So parameter 4 goes up as 5. The next thing, in case you wanted to change the field list for certain things, we're going to go ahead and put %5 as field list. Again, since there's no spaces in that, we can leave that as just a simple parameter to call. And the %6, we're going to use that as the event list. So when we type in %6, we place that now up as the 6th parameter. Again, results.rsm, it will be passing parameter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Those are the values you're calling here. This is somewhat similar to custom variables, but you don't have a % following it. So it will use these up through 1 through 9. Then you will use A through Z to be able to use multiple parameters. Okay, we've done that. We've changed the results.rsm. We're going to go ahead and save that. We're going to go back here to save this as at results at results 5krun.lst. We save that. We go back up here and let's look at results 5krun. If we edit that, we'll see that just what we just did up there. Now let's go ahead and run that. We'll send it to the editor, and now we have the 5K finishers with all the information there. Nice, easy, simple, nice, clean. We only use that, we're using the same RSLT. Now, let's say we want to go ahead and create a 10K. We'll change that to 10. We'll change that to 10 in the title. We'll get rid of that. We don't need that anymore. It's run, and the race value is going to be R, and the event list is going to be event list, which when we look at that, we confirm that that's going to be the finish minus the gun at 10K. We're going to go ahead and simply file, save file as 10K, save it. We go back here and look at results 10K run. We go ahead and run that. We now have the 10K finishers using that same results.rsm. We're able to do both of those and get the same looking results for each one. Now we have, let's try the 5K walk results. Again, on this one, we will say the 5K walk for the title. We'll change this to W, and we'll do the event list WLK. Let's make sure we got the dot in there. We'll go ahead and look at this and see now that they're calling the finish minus the gun walk and the pace of 5K. Again, all we have to do now is file, save file as, and we're going to do this as the 5K walk. We save that. We go ahead and refresh this so we see a nice clean 5K walk. Again, it is calling those files there. We go ahead and run that, and notice we have the 5K walkers now with their times and everything else. Very simple way to do this, to reuse that the results.rsm file to use multiple parameters. You can just change the parameters and make this will be very easy to use later when we start talking about multiple overall awards and such. But right now you've seen how it's very simple to create this. You can do this on almost all your files to create it nice and easy. And on certain things you can actually have multiple lines here that it calls for your RSM file to say send up your 5K run, 5K walk, and 10K run data up to run sign up or another online system. So you see how a macro works. If you have any questions on this or other things, just give us a shout at support. If you have any other ideas for future videos you'd like to see, give me a shout also. Have a nice day, and we will see you in the next video.